Welcome to Almost Agreeable.
Almost Agreeable.
With your hosts, Chris Nellison and Ed Harris. Hang around and listen to opinions on sports, movies, music, and whatever else pops in our head.
All right, and welcome to another episode of Almost Agreeable. I'm one of your hosts, Ed Harris, and with me as always is Chris Nellison. And today we're continuing on with our Star Wars saga. What we thought was going to be one episode. Very childish of us to think that we would talk about the entire original trilogy in 45 minutes. It's not a thing.
That's unrealistic.
Not a thing.
What were we thinking?
And we have another guest. We like to have our guests on when we talk about Star Wars, so we have Kyle on with us again today.
All right. Hello, Kyle.
How's it going?
Good. So we have two episodes before this, right? One's about New Hope. The other one's obviously, naturally, about Empire. Which brings us to today's topic of discussion is going to be Return of the Jedi. The last of the original trilogy, right? The third one. Episode 6. For those, back in the day that were like, wait, when did we get to 6?
Yeah. Who can't do math.
So, I guess coming off of the low of, Empire Strikes Back, when I say low, I mean like the mood, the tone, everything kind of ended on a downer.
It's dark.
It is dark.
Mm-hmm.
And we like that about that. And then we come into Return of the Jedi, and what's the first scene? I think it's...
the Death Star.
Right.
It pans right into the new Death Star.
And
Which
we're
are
building the new one. That's our first glimpse of like, oh, let's build a new one.
Yeah.
Or like, didn't we blow that up?
Yeah.
So.
And it's like not finished yet, and Vader's yelling at some dude like, motherfucker, you need to finish this.
Yeah,
and
you
he's
gotta
like,
finish
I need
this.
more men. He's like, the Emperor's coming. He's like, well, double F, it's...
Ah,
Yeah.
we'll get it done.
Yeah. Nope, we'll get it done. Yes, sir.
He's like, I got it. And then we see R2 and C-3PO on Tatooine, yes?
Yeah, going to Jabba's palace.
What's your first thoughts going into that? Like, do you think at this point, like, objectively, like, first time seeing it, are you like, oh, yeah, they're going to Han's here, right? Do you kind of forget that Han is on Tatooine at this point?
Yeah, I 100%, like, first time seeing it, I was just like, what are they doing, like, what are they doing on Tatooine? Like, what are they doing, like, in this situation? Like, what is happening? I have no idea what's about to happen.
Yeah, like, I thought I saw the last of Tatooine, and now I'm fucking back on this planet.
And you know immediately as soon as that door opens, it's like, this is a dark place. Because you see the, like, spider drone walk
Oh,
by.
yeah, that shit.
Yeah.
Like, 3PO being 3PO. Oh,
Yeah,
don't leave me, R2, please.
Something's happening. And
Yeah.
something not good's happening.
And then, so we get introduced to Jabba, which is the first time we actually see Jabba, unless you're a special edition whore, and you saw, what was CGI Jabba in A New Hope.
Oh, yeah.
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 Don't like it.
Yeah, so this is the first time we see Jabba. We've heard about him from Han over the course of the films because he's got a bounty on his head. And we see Jabba here. He's got Han and Carbonite right in there. He's a great decoration for the ballroom. That is a pretty sick decoration, though. Let's be real.
Check out my human.
Check out my...
My human trophy on the wall.
Got his ass.
Got him.
Boba Fett, he's also there, lingering.
Yeah, kick-ass Boba Fett doing nothing like he always does.
We kind of get a sense that this guy's kind of powerful, Jabba, right? He's a lord of like a crime lord of some
physically
sort.
like imposing in the fact that he's just big, but physically like not very capable of doing stuff, so that like he is the boss.
Yeah.
He's not going to be out fighting people.
Yeah,
He's like one of those classic mob bosses.
Yeah, it's like Don Corleone.
Yeah.
So immediately like, oh, okay, this guy has power. This guy has money,
Right.
and boy does he run shit.
Yeah, and he kills people by feeding him to a giant monster,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Rancor.
the Rancor.
But can we talk about like Daddy Luke? Like this is when Luke is like, oh
But wait, we're not there yet.
Hold on. We're gonna get there.
We can get there, but you're
I was thinking about the Rancor, so I was thinking about Luke.
Right, yeah.
Naturally.
yeah.
But before we even get there, right, because we have our first rescue attempt, right? We got Leia disguised as a bounty hunter, bringing in Chewbacca, and it's foiled fairly quickly.
Yeah.
She unfreezes Han. So this goes back to what I was talking about in the last episode, how, like, they weren't sure that Harrison Ford was going to come back for returns. They left his ending ambiguous.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he was doing the indie thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he comes back. He's back. He's not frozen anymore. Blind as fuck.
Yeah.
Can't see. But he knows that laugh.
What's that?
I know that laugh.
Okay, sorry, I didn't say it.
It's good. It's like it's the gang getting back together, you know.
Kind of. So we're at
You're
2/3.
starting to get some hope.
Yeah, we're at 2/3 power right now.
Yeah, you've already. At that point, have you seen the glimpse of Lando where you're like,
Yes.
I know that dude.
Like he's
under
like
that mask?
infiltrated the palace, right? He like lowers his little visor,
Yeah.
and it's totally
So
him.
you're like, okay, well,
Like, what are you-
Lando's
What are
here.
you doing, Lando?
That guy, you see Chewbacca, obviously, the droids, Leia.
Yeah, droid. What C-3PO is like an interpreter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And then we get our first look at Daddy Luke.
Daddy Luke, dude.
And I kind of want to say this. I watched it recently, and what other Jedi, and I say Jedi, have you seen use Force choke?
Vader. But he's not, at that point, he's not a Jedi. He's dark side.
Is that a dark side technique?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen anybody other than
Darth people.
dark side people.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's pretty dark to choke.
and what's he
sometimes.
wearing?
He's wearing black, dude.
All black.
Right.
All right, he's hooded.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Comes in choking motherfuckers.
Looking like his dad.
Yeah.
Vintage
all
Anakin
black.
right now, dude.
Dude, he's like, and he's commanding the room.
100%.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm calling him Daddy Luke. It's because like he comes in, and you're like, oh shit, like this guy, he's not here for anything but then what he's talking about. He's about his business.
Yeah.
For sure.
He's like, nevertheless, you bring Captain Soul and the Wookiee to me.
Yep.
He's like, you can profit from this, or you can die.
Yeah.
Your choice.
Balls in your court, man.
And then he gets thrown into the Rancor pit.
Yeah.
And then we get to see him work his way out of that. I've actually saw a question on Reddit the other day that kind of pissed me off. It's like the same kind of question where people are like, why didn't they just ride the Eagles to Mount Doom? People are like, why didn't Luke force choke the Rancor? And I'm like, shut up.
I don't know if it works that
You
way.
shut the fuck up, you fucking fanboys.
But the thing that does bug me is he throws the rock at the button instead of just like force throwing it. He just
Yeah.
That
picks
is
it up and throws
something.
it, like,
Maybe he was.
come
maybe
on, man.
maybe he throws it and he's guiding it.
He was in a panic. Who
Yeah,
knows?
I don't know. Some Jedi you are.
Yeah,
You're all right.
yeah.
He wasn't
can't even
focused.
can't even be calm.
He wasn't focused. You gotta have focus, all right? And he was gonna be eaten.
Yeah, let's be real, Kyle. How focused would you be if a giant monster just ate a little pig was coming after you next?
Oh, I wouldn't be focused.
Oh no way.
No
I'd
focus.
be a dead man.
I would be eaten.
yeah.
lunch.
I wouldn't even know to like go run under the boulders that he was hiding under. Like I'll just be like, please make it quick.
Yeah,
Like
just
don't chew
hurt.
on me.
I wouldn't put the little bone in his mouth.
Yeah, yeah.
No, man, just
The fact that he's able to hold on to that, like, that quick thinking.
I'm standing straight up. Just I mean,
Yeah.
I've had a good run.
Yeah, yeah. So he kills the Rancor, and Jabba's pissed, and decides to kill him in an even worse way, right? He's going to throw him into the Sarlacc pit,
Yeah.
and you will be digested for, 1,000 years?
1,000
Yeah,
years.
1,000 years.
Right? And, like, C-3PO's all like, interpreting this, and Luke just doesn't look amused. He's like, whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
whatever.
you're making a mistake, you idiot. At this point, I'm like, does Luke know something I don't know?
Mhm.
How come I haven't seen his lightsaber yet?
Yeah.
Where's
you're
that
like-
thing at?
You're like, it's pretty evident that something is gonna happen, but like, why hasn't he just rescued his friend? You know?
Right.
Right.
It's like, now he's caught.
But
Fucking
you know,
idiot.
he's going into the belly of the beast, and it's like, you're thinking, does he really want this fight? Can he win this fight?
Right. Some rescue.
Yeah.
Right. So then we get out, and then again with Daddy Luke, like, you know, Han's talking to him. He's like, "Hey, I can kind of see a light blur." He's like, "So much to see, dude. I'm born here, you know. I lived here." He's like, "You're gonna die here."
You're gonna die here, you know?
He's- And he goes, "Just stick close to Chewie and Lando. I've taken care of everything." I'm just like, okay. Oh my goodness. Apparently,
He's so grown.
It's just like, yeah, I'm just like, wow. Apparently he's got this. I don't know.
I think my eyes are getting better. Instead of a big dark blur, I see a big light blur. There's nothing to see. I used to live here, you know. You're gonna die here, you know. Convenient.
And he does, right? You got the little... When I was a kid, and this is real talk, if you can visualize the scene right now in your head, it's like they're about to put him in, and Jabba said, like, right before Jabba says put him in, R2 pops the lightsaber out, right? Just to get ready to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jabba says, put them in. And when I was a kid, I was like, is he telling R2 to put that back in? Can he see R2? What's happening? For years, I thought this. And then I watched it as an adult, and I was like, I'm such a fucking idiot. Obviously, he's telling those guys to throw Luke and Han into the Sarlacc pit. And we talk about how stupid the Sarlacc pit is. We'll die of dehydration before we're digested for 1,000 years, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, and they just made it worse with the special editions by putting like a little mouth.
The beak.
All the... Yeah.
What was wrong with the hole and teeth? I mean, that was already impending doom right there.
Yeah.
You didn't need all of that.
You made it. I mean, you made it a.
He really did butcher all that
You made
stuff
it- you made
with
it
his
weird.
special edition.
Yeah, you made it weird.
Yeah.
It's a Muppet movie.
It was
now.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fine the way it was, but
We get these looks of like, okay, it's about to go down. They're all looking over and nodding at each other. Like the most obvious thing in the world.
yeah.
Like if we're
he gives
really
him one
gonna
of
think
these,
about
like,
it.
you know, like the salute to
Yeah.
R2 right before he throws the lightsaber out.
Yeah, so it's just like if anybody was paying attention, but of course this is just a nitpicky thing.
Yeah.
The most obvious thing in the world.
And they get out. They get out of there.
And they get out.
They escape. They get the droids out of the sand as well. Let's not forget the droids.
They do that cool moment though where he hits his lightsaber and it's green and you're like, oh whoa,
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Yes, because like he loses his lightsaber in Empire.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Get his hand cut off.
yeah, that's right. Because he gets shot in that hand in that scene, right?
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like it's a raw robot and
But
stuff.
yeah, that part's cool because it reminds me of how awful Boba Fett is and how much people love Boba Fett. Because the first thing he does is slice Boba Fett's gun, and I love Boba Fett. But yeah, you're useless, man. You got your gun sliced immediately, and then you get thrown into a.
You get hit by a blind Han Solo on your jetpack, and
you
it
get thrown
shoots
into
you.
a ship, and then immediately into a Starlight.
You die.
You suck.
Immediately. He effectively does nothing.
Right. He tied Luke up for a second. And was
Yeah.
Like,
We just
I
get
got
that
one of
one
these.
that one great line from Han. He's like, Boba Fett!
Yeah.
Boba Fett! Like he's super worried about
Yeah.
it. Like,
That's-
what are you worried about, dude? It's fine.
Well, like that's where a lot of that comes from. That respect for him is like, oh, we have this
Oh boy.
scoundrel, Han Solo, who's like, oh, Boba Fett. Like, oh, you're kind of worried about that. But I mean, like, effectively, he does nothing in this series. He's just a menacing presence. Like
That's so.
I
cool.
hated that they changed his voice in the special editions to like his father, like 'cause he's a clone technically.
Yeah.
His voice in the original, like unaltered versions, is very menacing. He's like, it's not the actor that played Jango Fett.
Yeah.
Which I get it. I understand he's a clone, whatever. But
Yeah.
stop changing stuff.
His-
You're being a real J.K. Rowling right now.
Yeah. His
George
voice
Lucas.
is good. But the actual actor, like, under the mask is very not menacing at all.
No.
Looks like the chillest dude, like
Just a
big old nerd.
Yeah.
So we get off Tatooine finally, thankfully. Thank goodness.
Thankfully.
Tatooine sucks.
Mhm.
And while 2/3 of our trio go to regroup with the fleet, Luke goes to go pay some visits to Yoda. And, he's just talking so much that Yoda's like, you know what, I'm just going to die. You fucking suck, kid.
He's like, dude, I need less questions from you.
I thought you were Daddy Luke, and now you're just this whiny bitch.
Yeah, it was like,
Or back to Anakin mode. Like, Yoda only knows that Luke, right? He doesn't know Daddy Luke.
Yeah.
All he knows is this whiny little brat
Yeah.
who is the son of someone he hates.
Right.
it's rough. it's rough.
But yeah, essentially, that visit, a lot happens because he tells Luke, he says, hey, look, you're not a Jedi yet, dude, like, until you confront Vader. And he is your father. But, until you confront him. And there's a deleted scene, I guess, where it's like, Obi-Wan kind of explains to him, like, yeah, we kept it, I didn't know, he kept it from me. Or he kept it from you so you wouldn't have this pain to have to kill your own father. We kept it from you. That's a deleted scene, but I mean, Luke has to come to terms now with the fact that, like, yes, Vader is definitely his father, even though he knew in his heart, but he has to stop him. And then he gets on this mission where he's like, I'm not going to kill him. I'm going to bring him back. I'm going to redeem him. And that becomes his focus from that point on, because for the rest of the movie, until the climactic battle, he's not trying to fight Vader. He's not trying to kill him. He's just in his head. So, we get a nice little point of view from Ben. Maybe he could have told Luke that Leia was his sister sooner so he wouldn't kiss her. I don't know. Anything like that. But I guess a fruitful visit to Dagobah. Yeah?
Yeah. Learned a lot. I mean, the last time he saw Yoda was telling him, like, don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
Not
do this.
ready.
You're clearly not ready. And, well, guess what? He wasn't ready.
Wasn't ready.
So he makes it back, and it kind of gives Luke something to strive for. So that it's nice. Like, he knows that Yoda, it's not like he was killed by anything. He just becomes one
With the Force. Like Obi-Wan had done before him. And, just become a Force ghost and pop in at the most opportune times, I guess. Yep, then we regroup with the fleet. We find out that Han Solo is going to lead this mission down to the forest moon of Endor to essentially destroy the shield that is shielding the new Death Star, right? This is all plans that have been kind of taken by spies, Bothan spies. A lot of Bothan spies were killed to bring us information.
Those poor Bothans.
Get real somber because Bothans died. A lot of Bothans died.
I don't even know what a Bothan
I don't
is,
know
but-
what the hell a Bothan
I
is.
never knew what a Bothan was until I played Battlefront, and then like you can
Okay,
if you
yeah.
get so far, you can be a Bothan spy.
You
And
can
those
be
guys
a
have
Bothan.
these guns that like disintegrate you. It's fucking nuts.
Oh.
But watching it, yeah, I didn't know what a Bothan spy was, but I was like, oh man, it sucks. A lot of them died.
Bothans died.
Many Bothans died to bring us this information.
I think I'm sad.
Not the Bothans.
Oh, these Bothans.
That's a fun word, Bothan. I like it. So he gives Lando the Millennium Falcon because he's going to lead the attack on the actual Death Star,
Yeah.
right? And he kind of says a line there. He's like, I don't know if I'm going to see her again.
Which I kind of like now, obviously, with this expanded universe, because obviously you've known Lando was the original owner of the Falcon.
Right.
So it's like, oh, is he just going to straight up steal the Falcon from this guy?
Is this like 20 years worth of like a payoff or payback? Like,
Right.
yeah, got your ass. I ain't leading this fucking fleet. I'm taking my ship and
Yeah,
getting out
I
of
would
here.
love if that had happened. Like, all right, dude, finally got
Hey,
it.
thanks,
Later.
man.
You knew who I was.
Yeah. I'm a scoundrel too. This was mine.
Yeah. I like that. I'd never thought of that. That's great.
Yeah.
So we get down to Endor, I think. We have that tense moment where Vader knows Luke's on that ship.
Yeah.
What do you think his motivation is there? Like, what is going on in Vader's head to where instead of being like,
He's a spy, blow him up. I'm gonna go take a shit.
or just letting him go, is there a little bit of that redeeming, that light in there that's like, let Luke live?
I would say, of course. I would say, of course. I mean, they have this special connection. They can sense each other, and he senses a change and a change in Luke, and it's something that he needs to address, something that he needs to like talk with him and understand like what is happening, not just like because that's like because his goal is to get him to bring him to the dark side.
Right.
That's so
You could easily, but a tractor beam though, right? You could just tractor beam him in.
But I think it's also a respect for his master thing too. He told them, stay on the ship, and I'll tell you when you're needed. And so, obviously, Vader probably knows that the Emperor is up to something, and that's why he's here. That's why all of these people are here. He's up to something greater. Just let him through.
That's right. There is that scene where he's like, "Go back to your starship.
Yeah, and stay.
Wait for my orders."
Yep.
Yeah.
So he knows his master is telling him, stay put. He never really listened to his master, Obi-Wan, so might as well listen to this master.
This one will fuck me up.
Yeah.
So I think it's a change in Luke, and he senses something's going on, but it's also him being disciplined and knowing that his master's up to something.
He has a plan.
Yeah.
So we get down to Endor. We have a nice little speeder bike chase.
Yeah.
We lose Leia.
Mm-hmm.
She's lost, but the audience knows that she's just little furry creatures.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Wicket.
Yeah.
Played by Warwick Davis. Just thrown out there,
Yeah.
the leprechaun.
Yep.
A young Warwick Davis.
Yes, very young.
Very young.
Like a little guy.
Like a child.
Yeah, he was a small child.
He's a child.
Well, I mean, he's always small.
Yeah.
This time he's a child.
Wow. So
Sorry.
we get introduced to these Ewoks. They trap Han and Chewie and Luke and the droids. And
We're like, what are these teddy bears doing?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I love how Han is just so dismissive.
Immediately.
He's just like, one of my favorite scenes that is not even that important. They're trapped in like the net, and they're spinning, and Luke's like, Han, can you grab my lightsaber? And he's like, yeah, sure. Like very sarcastically, like because he can't get there.
Right, yeah.
He's just such a dick. I love it.
Han, can you reach my lightsaber? Yeah, sure.
I guess I never realized how sarcastic that was.
It
Like,
was.
okay, buddy.
Yeah, sure.
That's great. That's a whole new outlook on that. That's wonderful.
Gets me every time. And then he's like trying to get C-3PO to fucking, hey, get us out of here. He's like, oh no, I can't. Why the fuck can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you here for?
Yeah.
Right. This is why we have you.
Yeah,
To get us out of these situations.
you're fluent in 6 million fucking languages.
But I do like that he says that. He says he thinks he's saying hello. Like
Yeah.
he's fluent in all these languages,
yeah.
but he thinks he's saying
I
hello.
think they think I'm some kind of god.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, what do you mean you think, you idiot? You've been bragging for fucking 16 films now that you're fluent in 6 million languages. Why do you think he's saying that?
Yeah.
But they end up getting out of it, right? And they use the knowledge of the forest through the Ewoks to be able to get to the shield generator. right? And at this point, Luke decides he's endangering the mission. He's going to go confront Vader without the rest of the group. And so we split again, and we essentially have 3 storylines at this point. We have Luke and Vader going to see the Emperor. We have Han and the Rebels trying to blow up the shield generator. And we have Lando in space, hoping that the shield generator is down by the time that they get there. And so, where do you want to start? Of the 2, Luke or Han? Dividing the factions here. Han,
Yeah.
both Han. So, they absolutely get caught. Like, they get in there, they're putting charges up. Another favorite scene from Han in that sequence is, like, they're definitely going to get caught. All the fucking Imperial, soldiers come in, and he throws the whole fucking box of charges at the dude, and he falls into the fucking reactor.
Which, I think the guy he throws into the reactor is, like, the original guy that made the Whelm scream. Like, the famous Whelm scream.
No way.
Perfect.
I think that's that guy.
And he didn't even scream for it.
No, I think he did it on purpose. The Whelm scream had already been made. I think that's the guy that originally did it.
Well.
And so him doing the Whelm scream when he gets hit by the box is him actually doing it and trying to, like, recreate it.
That's perfect.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, he throws the whole fucking box at him. I love it. They get caught, and then the Ewoks to the rescue.
Yes. Yeah. The Furbies unite.
And I guess that's enough, right? To take out the Empire?
Yeah, rocks and sticks.
Against
blasters.
ATSTs.
And ATSTs.
Just use trees.
Yeah. Look, they can't hit you.
There's Charlie everywhere.
Is this possibly a metaphor that nature always wins?
I'm
just trying. That was rhetorical. I'm sorry I even asked that. That was a stupid question. I just can't make any fucking logical sense right now. I get it. This is why a lot of people think this is one of the low points of the original trilogy.
It's absolutely a low point.
Yeah.
You made small children play teddy bears and destroy grown adults that are trained.
An army.
A full army.
They're throwing these little rocks at them. They're wearing fucking armor.
They successfully defend themselves and attack.
Mm-hmm.
They successfully defend and go on the attack.
I want to know how long they had these, like, the tree trunks that they had, like, tied up that crush the ATSTs.
And how did they not see that? Like, what are those bears doing up there? Putting those rocks up.
Can we find somebody who knows things and get them to do the math on what it would actually take for 2 trees to crush some metal like that?
Like the inertia, like how far they need to be held back and how far they need to be traveling.
How heavy they need to be, how fast they need to be.
How many Ewoks does it take to get that up there?
Right.
What's the
it's not going to be a 2-man thing.
Hey, I need your help. Come here. Me and you, we got this.
It's not a 2-bear job.
Oh man, I think I can rag on Ewoks all day.
Oh yeah,
as cute as they are.
And it sucks because like Return of the Jedi as a kid was my favorite.
It was the best.
I absolutely loved it. And then now that I'm an adult, I'm like, this is garbage. It's not good anymore.
It's like the beginning of the end because then you get to the prequels come around and you're like, oh, I should have seen this coming.
Like
right.
It is the worst one of the original trilogy to me, but it's still like an 7.5.
It still gives me
still
that
good, yes.
warm
Yeah.
feeling.
It's still great because take the Ewoks away. Maybe it's like a primitive culture of humans. Like, you can substitute it. But take the Ewok plot away. It's a great conclusion to that trilogy. The themes of what goes on with Luke and the romance continued between Leia and Han and the rebels striking another big victory. It's a great story still. So yes, a 7.5 I would say.
Well, let's hop into what happens with Luke.
Okay.
Because his entire goal now is he's going to
redeem his father.
He's going to appeal to the Jedi in him. I am a Jedi like my father before me. So that's his entire goal, is trying to appeal for his father, and it's just like you were saying, he wasn't fighting him, and he was trying to talk to him, and it was not working.
No, especially because once they got to the Death Star, the Emperor's just such an overwhelming presence.
Yeah.
You're not going to get through to Vader, because anything you do, whether you're Luke or Vader, the Emperor is going to sense. I think the only reason he did not sense, and we'll get there eventually, that Vader was about to throw him down a fucking shaft, was because he was so focused on hating Luke.
Yes.
Like, he couldn't feel like this presence that was like, motherfucker, that's my child, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, this giant dude behind
But, like,
me.
before that, everything up to that point, he is feeling Luke's anger rising.
Yeah.
And he's feeling the contentness of Vader behind him. Unless Vader is, at this point, he's like, good at hiding it, like occlumency from Harry Potter. Like he can shield his thoughts from the Emperor.
I'm sure that's part of like being a Force user is being able to, like, of course you're sensing other Force users, but being able to defend yourself from your true feelings. I'm sure that's part of it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, especially with Luke coming into play, that is definitely an even bigger part of it.
Well, then it's like, so you have essentially the Emperor just talking so much shit like, oh, your rebel fleet, and better get to get the bird. Your friends on the forest moon, people be. And he's just, I know, I'm like, oh my god, kill this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Kill him.
And even tells him, like, do it.
He's like, strike me down. And he does. He grabs his lightsaber, and then we get a fight with Vader.
Mm-hmm. Finally.
And he's being passive in that fight. It's much, reminiscent of like this first fight with Vader, where Vader was kind of dicking with him the whole time. In this fight, Luke isn't dicking with him, but he's not trying to strike him. He's not being aggressive either.
Yeah.
He's being super Jedi code at this point, because Jedis are taught not to be aggressive, not to strike, not to instigate, not to fight. And so he's being passive. He's defending himself until he needs to tap into the dark side to actually defeat Vader when he brings up Leia, right? That whole scene where he's fucking is getting him, he ain't using any Jedi technique I know of. Don't get this Form 5 and Form 3 bullshit out of my fucking head. That is no form of Jedi lightsaber training I've ever seen. It's pure hatred and anger.
How that fight ends up going is he ends up beating Vader. He's beating him down and just really just slamming on him. And you've never seen Vader in this context just leaning against this railing, like being so vulnerable.
Right.
Like you're just like, oh my god, like he's taking down like the baddest guy.
Yeah, it's like how the turntables.
Yeah, and it looks like it's almost like Luke has realized when he mentions Leia, he's almost realized that like I can't. There's no good in him. I just gotta end it.
Yep.
Like,
yeah.
I've failed. He sucks. Everybody said he sucks. So that's a real crazy turning point because you see him finally tap into the dark side, which he was warned about by Yoda and everybody else.
Well, it just shows you how powerful he was too when he was, tapping into the dark side.
Yeah.
It's like I heard that Mace Windu was such a good lightsaber fighter because he was a rare Jedi that was able to tap into the dark side but not be seduced by it. And Luke kind of does that here, not in the way that Mace Windu had performed the art, quote unquote, but in a way where, like, at the end of it, he was like, fuck, like, whoa.
He realized he could draw himself back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa.
It's like, whoa.
That was scary. Like, that was too tempting.
Yeah.
Like, he almost completed the job.
Right.
He was right there, and then you just see something wash over him. He's like...
It's when he sees Vader's hand is also mechanical.
Yeah.
And he looks at his own. And then he fucking straight up chucks his lightsaber.
I'm done.
He's like, I'll never do it. And
the Emperor's not happy about it.
the Emperor is not happy about it.
Because then he realizes he's failed.
Yeah, because now he's down an apprentice, and this guy's not going to be my apprentice. And it's like,
I wanted another Skywalker.
is he going to take fucking Vader to another bacta tank and heal him up again, or what the fuck goes on? What if he does kill Luke? What happens? The Death Star's still getting blown up.
There's another. There's still Leia, and he knows that.
That's right. Oh, fuck. Didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
But he's going to die anyways, because the Death Star's going to get blown up.
Yeah.
Underestimate the rebels, you idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then he gets to zapping.
Gets to zapping, which he probably feels good. He hasn't done that in a long time.
It's probably been a while.
It feels great, but last time it didn't end too good.
Last time I looked like a fucking ball sack afterwards.
And we're just seeing... I mean, Vader's wearing a mask, but I don't know how they conveyed, like, love through that, but
It's
they
there.
did it. They
It's-
did it. It was...
It's like
you
the
could
looking
see
back at him and then looking back at Luke and just seeing Luke wail. I mean, yeah, they showed him a lot of emotion in something that can't show emotion.
Yeah. A very everyday item that's can't show emotion is just very illustrated by the movements, the body movement of Vader at that time. You can definitely see the conflict in there, which I'm glad you brought that up because I never really thought about it like that because I've been so accustomed to like seeing it and being like, here he is, he's having conflict. But like, how do I know that? It's because the blocking and the staging of that are just so, on point.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he picks old motherfucker up and
Yeets him.
bye-bye.
He eats him. I mean, it definitely helps that like Luke is just sitting there yelling father.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that really brings
pulling
him
at the heartstrings.
Yeah,
He probably has never felt that. Like,
Exactly,
you know,
yeah.
The minute he came to when he became Vader, or not Vader, but when he became the machine that he is, I mean, his kid was already born, and he thought that everybody was dead, basically.
Right.
So that's the first time he's ever been called father, I think. Well, maybe, except when Luke returned and said, "You're my father."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it definitely brings him to a different place. And then he gets yeeted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Emperor
yeet.
gets yeeted.
My goodness. And then it does some weird shit where he disrupted some kind of force field because it comes up and does like a little blowy action.
It blows up.
I read somewhere where like all that blue was the essence of the dark side. I don't know how BS that is, but like that's what some people have said.
Oh, okay.
That's the essence of the
Oh.
dark side.
Wow.
Yeah.
Never heard that take.
Deep cut.
Deep cut.
Well, and then so at this point, Vader is redeemed, right?
Yeah.
He saves Luke. He defeats the Emperor.
Gets to see him with his own eyes.
Right. That's right, because then he eventually dies, but he wants to look on Luke with his own eyes. That kind of leaves us with, like, we didn't talk about Lando a whole lot. I do want to talk about piloting a spaceship through all of that stuff. Like, Wedge says a line during that scene that really should be, like, concerning to everybody, but no one really reacts. He's like,
Form up. Stay alert. We could run out of space real fast.
Mm-hmm. And then, like, right when he says that, he loses the
antenna.
The shield.
It's like, what happens if you run out of space? Like, you know you're gonna die, right? Like,
don't die.
Is anyone else taking this serious? And it's like, hey, let's split up. It's like, how do you know where that split's going?
Right.
You are very confident in saying this.
None of you guys are Force users. You don't know what the fuck is going on. You don't have the blueprints like you did for the first Death Star. You just have like a general outline where she said the main reactor's here.
Right, it was like 4 tubes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was concerned during that entire scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, Wedge also kind of cocky at this point. He's like, hey, shoot that. He's like, I'm already on my way out.
All right, Wedge, go for the power regulator on the North Tower.
Copy, Gold Leader. I'm already on my way out.
You weren't, though, bro. You're that guy that says I'm on your way, but you haven't left the house yet.
And you're still putting your shoes on.
You son of a bitch. Don't you fucking lie to me. Did you know I could see you?
Yeah, you haven't turned around. You're in front of me.
You're not on your way out. Chill.
Although I will say that I think Wedge, other than Luke, I think Wedge is the only other X-Wing pilot that lives.
Yeah, from
the first movie.
Yeah, from the first movie. Because it's only him. The only one you really see is, like, him. Like, because he's like, I can't stay with you, and he dips out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when they're flying away, it's 2 X-Wings and a Y-Wing from the original Death Star blowing up. So, like, yeah, it is Wedge. And then Wedge he's the guy that takes down the AT-AT in Empire Strikes Back.
Mm-hmm.
Because Luke's gunner, Dak, gets roasted.
He does.
So, yeah, Wedge. Hats off to Wedge.
Hats off to Wedge, dude.
Love him.
But I mean, like, it's so... Of course, they need to destroy this Death Star. That's the whole goal. But, like, they didn't know it was working at first.
Right, they had the impression that it was...
Oh, I love that scene, too.
That
when
it wasn't operational.
Yeah.
When it dawns on Lando, like, he gets there and he's like... He goes, well, they're jamming our communications. How would they know to jam them unless they knew that we were coming?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, fuck. Like, they know we're coming. Like, they know this shit. And then at that point, they don't even know the Death Star's operational. They just know that the Empire knew they were coming.
Right.
And then we get our first, like, look at this thing is fully operational.
Yeah,
it blows
they shoot
up the big
Mon
ship.
Calamari ship.
Yeah, I guess we're lucky that Admiral Akbar wasn't on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a trap.
It was
It was a trap.
a trap. And I just like, yeah, Lando's right. He's like, let's press up against the Star Destroyers. He's like, we can't repel arms of that magnitude. And he's like, we'll do better than that Death Star. But he's right. He's right.
And that Death Star was bigger than the original.
It was
Death
huge.
Star.
Yeah.
It was
giant.
huge. How much more time do you think before that thing's finished?
I think... Yeah. Ugh, I don't know.
I mean, they had like 3/4 of it done.
Yeah, there was quite a bit missing.
Yeah. There's a fat piece of it missing.
Yeah. Oh well.
I don't know. I don't know the work ethic of these...
Well, apparently they're going to double their efforts because the Emperor's coming.
Yeah, I don't know how.
So whatever I'm thinking, at least double it.
Yeah. And it's, I guess another nitpicky thing I said, if the Death Star blew up that close to that moon, like all those Ewoks, all the rebels on that planet, dead.
Oh yeah, you're not celebrating shooting fireworks.
No,
off.
you're running for your life.
You're dead.
Yeah, fireworks are coming to you.
Yeah.
Didn't that celebration party look so fun though?
It did, yeah. I want to drum on Imperial helmets. And,
they had all kinds. They had like the Imp Officer helmet, they had the Stormtrooper, they had the Scout Trooper one.
Were they celebrating like burning their bodies? Like what?
I was on fire.
Just bonfires.
Like we talked about, oh yeah, how did the Ewoks do this? But like, and then like we see shit like that, and you're like, kind of depraved fucking creatures. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. I do. One of the things I guess I do like about the special editions in this case is that it goes to different planets during the celebration.
Yeah.
And you see the effect of this, you know, on a galaxy scale.
Yeah.
As opposed to just like I think in the original you just see Endor.
Endor, I'm pretty sure. It's just Endor. It's just like
and
it's cool because you can see, and there's a quick moment when it goes back to Coruscant. You can actually see a statue being toppled over.
Yeah.
It's very
okay.
World War II-esque, Saddam kind of feel. And I know what you're talking about. I've seen that.
Yeah.
And then it goes, you know, Tatooine, Naboo.
Yeah, it goes to
Cloud City. So I did like that, I guess, a little bit.
That I don't mind.
Yeah,
like little subtle things like that.
That's
like in the
fine.
Dune Sea where they're like panning over, you see like I don't even know what they were
The
called.
banthas.
Yeah, you see them.
The herd of banthas.
Like, that's okay.
Bantha
yeah,
herd.
something that could like expand the universe or just kind of bring things together, not just like random pieces. Like, oh, let's change that just because
we're gonna change this entire dance scene and put a band in Jabba's head.
That was not okay.
Cringy.
Yeah,
really.
a little bit. Yeah, because the CGI wasn't great.
No.
I mean, I guess early in the times of CGI, but I mean, come on, George, please stop. I think everyone knows how I feel about George Lucas from last week's episode, so I won't say anything else on the topic. But, I mean, all in all, I give this film, like I said, 7.5, based on just the conclusion we have here and how it was wrapped up, and it makes me think, you know, like, I wish I could have been going or alive when these movies came out to see them in real time.
I mean, they're 40-year-old films, like average, I guess, 40-year-old films for the three of them, and just they're a little bit dated, but not a lot. Like not like a lot of other movies you would watch from 77 or 80 or 83. Like they still hold up pretty well today.
Yeah, and despite not being my favorite, like it still gives me the warm fuzzies. Like it did when I was a kid watching it with like my dad or friends or whatever. Like it's still fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I watched them recently, and I remember just being kind of putting myself in the position where I was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, just to enjoy it. Put everything on that nitpicky shit aside that I love to talk about on these podcasts. Put all that aside and just be a kid again and enjoy it.
Yeah.
I will say Star Wars is one of the only series, a series as a whole, that like I can put my phone down and like just enjoy it. And disappear.
I can definitely get behind that. Like there's a couple like it's not like I'm going to be watching the Marvel films and just be glued to them.
Right.
But definitely Star Wars. I'm paying attention. I'm immersed the entire time.
What do you think happens after Return of the Jedi?
Dude, who knows?
Mandalorian.
Oh, okay,
which is
very
supposed to be 5 years after the destruction of the...
I like that. That's a good answer, because I was thinking, like, what do you think Luke goes and does, or Leia, or Han? They think they have good adventures, like moving forward,
Yeah.
I don't know, because, like, Luke is very powerful. Like, so it begs the question, like, what next?
Yeah, what... I mean, I guess we'll never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have books, which I think they registered under Legends now.
Yeah.
Are those canon?
I don't think it's canon.
It's not canon.
It's not canon.
Yeah. But I guess if you're talking canon, then it's Mandalorian.
Mandalorian, and that's where it stops.
Yeah, that's it.
I think.
That's it.
I don't know of anything else that happened on the timeline after that.
I can't think of anything else with Luke.
Yeah, you got Star Wars Rebels kind of ends right around the same time.
Rebels was great.
Yeah.
I think during this Star Wars series that we're doing, I want to talk about Clone Wars and Rebels.
I would imagine, like, I feel, especially with Dave Filoni on board with Mandalorian, and they're doing a fantastic job, by the way. I think not Clone Wars, but I think Rebels is going to get tied into it.
Yeah.
Especially, you see the Darksaber.
I think they were talking about bringing back Ezra Bridger.
Yeah, and there's rumor that like you've seen Sabine in the preview. Some people think it's her. Some people think it's a
the
Jedi.
one, because everyone was like, "That better not be Ahsoka." I'm like, "It's obviously not Ahsoka."
No, but then there's that
obviously
talks
not.
as well too.
Yeah.
Rosario Dawson was cast
Yeah.
as Ahsoka, and she's in Mandalorian now.
Yeah, so we'll see that. Well, I'd love to speculate about the saga moving forward. They're just, it's limitless possibilities. So I'll just go right into everyone's favorite segment, Hot Route. Obviously for both of you, okay?
Hot route.
Hot Route. Okay, so we have kind of a gap between Empire and Return, right? Maybe like at least a few months, maybe? What in that frame of time that we don't see, like things that have happened, would you like to see portrayed on screen? Like in that gap?
I think I guess it would be just Luke training.
That's really what I was thinking. Just like what turns him into this, like, what turns him into Daddy Luke?
Yeah. Because I imagine he spent his time in Dagobah in just training with Yoda, but I would love to see him go get his Kyber crystal.
Yeah.
Because there's a scene in Return of the Jedi that was a deleted scene where he's building his lightsaber.
Right. And that's where I was going with this question. Because for me, it's definitely him constructing a new lightsaber.
Yeah, so the whole Jedi route would be really cool to see.
That'd be really cool to see. Yeah. Okay. All right. Instead of the chumpish way that we saw Boba Fett die, what do you think, like in your head, is the ideal finish or, ending to a character like Boba Fett, who is held in such high esteem?
Get his head chopped off?
Like his father.
Oh my god!
I don't know. We could see it actually happen on screen. There's rumors that he's possibly in Mandalorian. You hear the spurs in the episode of Mandalorian that people assume is him. You very well could actually see him die in a blaze of glory.
And not like a chump.
And not like a chump.
He did die like a chump. Well, I mean, like, that's the last we see of him.
Yeah.
Going right into the pit.
Yeah.
And
because Jango died like a boss. I mean, he's fighting a Jedi.
Yeah, he's fighting a Jedi, but like, I don't know if there's a better way. Like, yeah, I guess anything but that.
Yeah.
But like, it's not that there's not a better way. It's just anything else.
Fair enough. And lastly, besides Padme, what is the biggest difference in the training of Luke and Anakin that kind of skews Anakin to the dark side? Like, what do you see? Obviously their training is paralleled. They're both too old when they're selected. They're both angsty. But like, where is the biggest difference you see in their training that turned Anakin to the dark side?
I think pressure, really. I mean, he's this guy that's supposed to bring balance. He's the one. So everybody thinks like he's got so much pressure. He's got to live with that pressure. So that's what I think it is. I think he's just pressured by too many people because he's supposed to be the guy.
Right.
And that can lead to it. Also, he wants to be the best.
He does.
He does want to be the best. For me, I think a biggest part of that is he wasn't, like, pressure is a big part of it, but like he wasn't cared for as a person.
Yeah, he was a slave.
If my own opinion, if Qui-Gon was his master, if he didn't die, he never would have turned to the dark side because Qui-Gon would have explained to him and kind of fostered him growing up, like, hey, yeah, like, these are the rules, but, like, like, be a person.
Yeah.
Instead of, like, kind of Obi-Wan just being strict. Be very Jedi. Like, that's what the Jedi is.
And
the
he
Jedi
was in Obi-Wan.
strict.
Is the quintessential Jedi.
Yeah, and Obi-Wan was a brand new Jedi. I mean, he was
Exactly.
just made Jedi and then immediately given an apprentice.
Right.
Immediately given an apprentice. And, like, Luke, from his masters, he got some insight. He got some life experience. And, I mean, he was older. He already was kind of defined mostly as a person, and Anakin was just going through all of this training really not knowing how he wanted to be or what he should be because he's getting so many he has so many conflicts in his life.
Yeah. And being part of the Jedi Council and not being a knight.
Or a master.
Like,
yeah.
Or yeah, it was probably like the tipping point.
The tipping point.
You guys really just think I'm here to help y'all, but I mean, screw you guys.
I like that. Good answers. Like, because I think that's a thought-provoking question. Kind of gives you a deeper look at kind of the tragedy that is Anakin.
Yeah.
And I love your answer, Kyle, with the pressure, because I never thought about that. There is a lot of pressure being the chosen one, and then with you, it's like, yeah, like I think Qui-Gon would have made a world of difference, big time. It was a shame.
Yeah, I've never really thought about that. The Qui-Gon thing. If he was still alive, trained you like you said you would.
All right, well, that wraps up part 3 of our May the Force Be With You series. Probably plenty more to come. I don't know how many parts we're going to do. We plan on 6, but it's probably going to go to like 19.
Well, yeah, you were talking about doing, Clone Wars.
Yeah, that's going to have to be separate episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'll probably smash Clone Wars and Rebels into one. Well, I couldn't do that.
You say that.
Yeah, Clone Wars is so long.
Clone Wars is extensive. Like,
and
the first couple seasons is just like, could maybe be...
It was rough.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
could maybe
for
be...
kids.
You could talk about the first couple seasons in, like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, but, like...
Especially this last season.
Even the last
it just
season
came out. That was
the last season alone. You could spend 30 minutes on talking.
It was
about
great.
it.
Just a great wrap up of so many things that you missed.
Yeah, my favorite part of it is how what's happening in the last episode arc. I think it's 3 or 4 episodes. Is concurrent with Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
I love that for that's happening from a different point of view.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's really cool seeing that, and it makes you want like a live action Ahsoka movie.
Yes, because she's badass
for sure.
I mean, she beat Maul.
Yeah, she
beat Maul.
Yeah, she's a boss.
She's a boss.
She's a baddie.
All right, sorry. Now I'm really signing off this time.
All right.
Kyle, thanks again for talking Star Wars with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It was fun.
And Star Wars is one of my favorites, so definitely to be revisited. And as always, I'm Chris.
I'm Ed.
Thanks for stopping by. Thank you for listening to another episode of Almost Agreeable. You can catch all new episodes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like, rate, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Almost Agreeable.